We did the thing! We have hit 100 patrons on my Patreon, people. It's honestly weird even thinking about that number because I remember sitting here when I had 0 patrons, and I remember when I had like 4 patrons, and I was like, I don't know how to make this work. I just don't know how to do it. And for people who have been around for a while, you know that my Patreon has kind of gone through an overhaul, like probably 4 or 5 different times. It was definitely not a create a Patreon and it just worked sort of thing, you know? It was create a Patreon, redo the Patreon, redo the Patreon, redo the Patreon! But at the end of the day, we finally found something that worked, and we have hit that goal of 100 patrons. Hitting that 100 patron goal has been super special to me because, as you guys know, we started this new journey here on this Pulse in Progress channel here in this past year, and it's been scary, to be honest. It's been really scary. There's been a lot of times while doing the stuff here on this channel that I'm like, I just don't know how this is gonna work. And without the Patreon, it wouldn't work. Just to be completely blunt with you, without the Patreon, this wouldn't be working. So that makes it even a little more special to me, honestly. So I just want to thank everyone who is a patron right now. Maybe you're considering becoming one. There's tiers for everybody. You know, you can check out all that stuff. I'm sure you can find something that you would enjoy and enjoy some rewards and get some cool stuff. I think you would like it. So all you gotta do is check that out at patreon.com/CMPulse. And without further ado, I wanted to talk about what we're gonna do to celebrate 100 patrons. This is something that I've been thinking about doing for a while. I just didn't know if it would work. I still don't know if it will work, but I thought, you know, as just a special celebration for hitting this goal, that we would try it. We are going to be playing through Pokemon Soul Silver, my personal favorite Pokemon game, but we're going to do it with a little bit of a twist. I thought about doing just a Pokemon Soul Silver Let's Play, and I thought that would be fun, but I thought it would be even more fun if we kicked it up to 11 and did something a little different. So I'm sure most of you guys have heard of a Nuzlocke challenge on Pokemon where they have these specific rules that you have to do and you play the game like that, kind of make it a little more interesting and a little harder. Well, I took that and I made my own. I like to call it the Pulse Lock Challenge. I've been writing down rules periodically as I've been thinking of stuff to do for this because I didn't want to do just a regular lock challenge. I didn't want to do just a regular Nuzlocke where, you know, the Pokemon dies, it goes away sort of thing. I wanted to do something special. I wanted to put my little twist on it, and that's what I think I've done here with the Pulse Lock Challenge. So let me share with you the rules of the Pulse Lock Challenge. And the thing is I've kind of written these rules to let you do it yourself. If you want to do your own Pulse Lock Challenge, you know, make your own videos on it, you can do that. Some of the things might be a little hard for you, but I feel like you could probably make it work. I think you can make it work. So let's go over the rules here. Number 1, your starter must be chosen by Siri, Google, Bixby, whatever your phone has. It's a super easy process. You just label the starters with numbers. So if you have 3 Pokeballs, 1, 2, and 3, and then you ask Siri, Google, Bixby, whoever it is, to choose a random number between 1 through 3, and then whatever your phone picks is the one that you start with. But there is an exception to this rule. If there is a Torchic or any evolutionary line of Torchic, no, you cannot choose that. There will be no Blaziken cheese in this Pulse Lock. So now that we got that out of the way, let's go to rule number 2. You must randomize your starters and your encounters. Everything else will stay default, but your starters and your encounters must be randomized. If you guys don't know how to do that, it's super simple. There's actually like this randomizer thing that you download. It's really easy. I'll just link that down below so you guys can get that. Rule number 3 is your basic Nuzlocke challenge sort of thing. Only the first Pokemon encountered may be caught, but we're putting a little twist on it. The only exception to this rule is if it is a Delibird. Delibird is for life. Every time you see one, you must capture it. You must at least attempt to capture it. I don't care if you have 700. You must attempt to catch it. Rule number 4 is another one of those lot challenge things that's pretty much in every one of them. Every Pokemon must be nicknamed. Now, for this challenge, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be asking on Patreon in a very special post for all patrons to submit names, and then I'm just going to take all those names, randomize them, and whenever an opportunity comes up to nickname my Pokemon or name my character or name my rival or name whatever it is, I will just randomly pick one of the names and then we will put it for whatever it is. So I think that'll be really fun. Now for rule number 5, if a Pokemon faints, it must be boxed forever. So that just means you put it into the computer. Now, here's where the pulse lock challenge gets a little bit crazy. If a Pokemon faints, you must spin a wheel and then do whatever the wheel lands on. I literally bought a wheel and we will be spinning this anytime a Pokemon faints, and whatever this thing lands on, we will be doing. So I'm trying to think of some fun things to do. And if you have any suggestions to put on this wheel, you can put it down in the comments below. I think this will be really fun. Now, if you decide you want to do your own pulse lock challenge and you don't have a physical wheel, because most people don't have a physical wheel, there are digital wheels that you can get on the internet and spin those. But it is more fun when you have this big, gigantic wheel that you can spin whenever you want. And now for rule number 6, which is the final rule for now, but I have not solidified this just yet. I might be adding some more rules here and there, maybe some more guidelines here and there. So by the time we get to that, I'll explain all the rules once again once we get to the Pulse Lock Challenge videos. If your Pokemon is about to evolve, any of them, if any of your Pokemon are about to evolve, you must ask Siri, Google, Bixby, whoever it is, to pick a random number between 1 and 3. If it's 1, you can let it evolve. If it's 2, you must cancel the evolution every time it comes up for 5 more levels before you let it finally evolve. And if it's 3, that Pokemon is never evolving. It must stay at the state it currently is. You're probably asking yourself, Pulse, did you make this up because you bought a $80 physical wheel and you want to find a reason to use it? No. So those are the rules currently right now for the Pulse Lock Challenge. I will be thinking of more, and if I can't think of any more fun things to do, make it a little more interesting, a little more fun, a little more interactive, I will be updating that, and by the time we get to the Pulse Lock videos, I will explain new rules, edited rules, updated rules, all that, this and that. But this is what we have right now. I want to thank you guys so much for the continued support across all channels, all everything. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to everyone who was a part of the first 100 patrons here on Patreon. I really do appreciate it. Without you guys, literally, this would not be possible. Literally. So thank you. And if you're thinking to become a patron, now is a great time. I think you would enjoy it. You get some cool stuff. If you enjoy my stuff, you can continue to support me and get some cool things while you're at it. So anyways, thank you guys so much. Remember to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you guys are not subscribed for more of that goody goody. And I will see you guys then. See you.